It was a Tuesday night, 11:48 p.m. You know that kind of quiet where the only sound is the hum of the refrigerator and the faint buzz of the city sleeping outside. That was my night. I was scrolling through my phone, half asleep, when it happened. An ear-splitting shriek blasted from my phone's speaker. It wasn't the usual Amber Alert sound. This was different, harsher, more urgent. My screen flashed a blinding, aggressive red with bold white text that made my heart stop. Emergency alert. Do not look outside. This message is only for you. I blinked, rubbing my eyes. Was I dreaming? I sat up, my heart thumping against my ribs. This message is only for you. What did that even mean? My first instinct was confusion, not fear. A prank, a weirdly specific glitch. I immediately checked all my social media feeds. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Nothing. Just the usual late-night memes and political rants. No one was talking about an emergency alert. The city was silent online, just as it was outside my window. Okay, this is getting weird. I decided to message my neighbors, the Millers, a sweet elderly couple who were always up late watching old movies. My text, "Hey, did you guys just get a crazy emergency alert?" I waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes. The little delivered checkmark was there, but no read receipt, no reply. They always replied instantly. Now, a knot of anxiety started to form in my stomach. I tried calling my sister, Sarah. She's a night owl, probably binge-watching some crime documentary. The phone rang once, twice, then went straight to voicemail. "Hey, it's Sarah. Leave a message." Her cheerful voice sounded alien and distant. I hung up without saying anything. My thumb hovered over my mum's contact, but I stopped myself. I didn't want to worry her over what was probably just a stupid prank. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe my phone was hacked. Maybe it was a targeted ad that went horribly wrong. I was about to factory reset my phone when it vibrated again, a low, menacing buzz that felt like it went straight through my bones. The same red screen, the same bold text. Emergency update. IT knows. You read the first message. Do not turn round. My blood ran cold. I was sitting on my couch, facing the TV. My back was to the large bay window that overlooked the street. It knows you read the first message. The word IT felt heavy, sentient. Do not turn round. Every horror movie trope I'd ever scoffed at flooded my mind. My body froze, locked in a state of primal fear. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I just stared at the blank TV screen, my own terrified reflection staring back. And then I saw it. In the reflection, the curtain behind me, it was moving. Just a gentle sway, a ripple in the fabric. But my windows were closed. The air conditioning was off. There was no draft. It moved again, a slow, deliberate pull, as if a small hand was tugging at it from the other side. I wanted to scream, but the sound was caught in my throat. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. I was too afraid of what I might see. The alert had been so specific. It was like someone, or something, was in the room with me, watching me, playing a sick game. My phone buzzed again. This time the message made me want to throw up. New instruction. Amir, go to the kitchen. It knew my name. It knew my name. How could it know my name? This wasn't a random alert. This was for me. Only me. The rationale part of my brain, the small, screaming voice of reason, was telling me to run. Get out of the house. Go anywhere. But the message felt like a command. A chain wrapped around my will, and a terrifying curiosity was starting to bloom in the pit of my stomach. What did it want? Why, the kitchen. My legs moved on their own, stiff and robotic. I walked past the swaying curtain, my eyes fixed forward, refusing to look. Each step echoed in the dead silence of my apartment. The kitchen was dark, lit only by the faint glow of the microwave clock. I stood in the middle of the room, my heart hammering like a drum solo. My phone lit up again. The knife block, second from the left. I looked at the counter. The knife block sat there, just as it always did. The second knife from the left was the big one, the chef's knife. My hand trembled as I reached for it, my fingers wrapping around the cold, smooth handle. Why? Why was it making me do this? Was it going to make me hurt myself, or someone else? The thought was so horrifying I almost dropped the knife. And then, the next alert, behind the refrigerator. Look, my fridge was pushed up against the wall. There was a tiny gap, maybe an inch wide, a space where dust bunnies and lost bottle caps lived. I knelt, my knees cracking on the cold tile. The heavy knife felt absurd in my hand. With my phone's flashlight, I peered into the dark gap, and I saw it. Tucked away deep in the shadows was a small, black box, a tiny GPS tracker with a single, blinking red light. It had been there for weeks, months maybe, watching me, tracking me. This wasn't a supernatural event. Someone had been in my house. Someone had planted this device. The fear shifted, becoming something colder, more real. This wasn't a ghost. It was a person who knew my name, my address, what room I was in, and was now feeding me instructions through my own phone. My phone vibrated, and this time the message was different. It wasn't an instruction, it was a taunt. You're catching on, but you're asking the wrong questions. I tease not about who I am, I tease about who you are. Amir. A wave of nausea hit me. What did that mean? Who I am? I'm just a guy, an accountant. I live a boring, normal life. I have no enemies, no dark secrets, or do I? The alert's psychological game was working. It was making me doubt my own reality, my own identity. My mind raced, trying to find a connection, any reason someone would do this. And then came the final instruction, the one I had been dreading from the very beginning. Break the rule, look outside. A part of me screamed, no, don't do it, it's a trap. But another part, the part that was tired of being a puppet, knew I had too. I couldn't stay in this house, a prisoner to a blinking red screen. I had to see. I had to know what was out there. I dropped the knife. It clattered loudly on the floor. I walked back into the living room, my steps now firm, resolved. The curtains were still now. The house was silent. I took a deep breath, reached out, and yanked the curtain aside. I looked outside, and the world fell away. Everything was dark. Every house on my street was pitch black. No lights, no signs of life. The street lights were off. The cars parked along the curb were empty, their windows like vacant eyes. The entire neighborhood, the entire city, it seemed, was frozen in an unnatural, absolute stillness. It was a ghost town, my ghost town. My eyes scanned the terrifying emptiness, and then they locked onto it. Directly across the street, standing under the one single streetlight that was still on, was a figure, a tall, slender silhouette, completely motionless. It was holding a phone up, the screen glowing faintly in the dark, and as I stared, my own phone vibrated one last time. I looked down. Final alert. You were warned. Too late. I looked back up at the figure. It slowly lowered its phone, and in the dim glow of the streetlight, I saw its face, and I finally understood. I understood why the message was only for me. I understood why it knew my name, my house, my life, because the face staring back at me from across the street was my own. Thanks for watching. If this story gave you chills, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more horror stories every week. Let me know in the comments what you would have done. Good night.